Okay, so I gotta say, this new track, Time Traveler, by Twice Dark, it's been stuck in my head since I first heard it. It's like they took all the energy of a goth club and mixed it with some seriously deep lyrics. You ready to unpack this one with me?
Absolutely, yeah. Twice Dark is one of those artists that just creates a whole world with their music. But before we get lost in it all, I think maybe we should figure out who Twice Dark even is first. They're fairly new on the scene, right?
Yeah, you got it. So Twice Dark is the brainchild of this super talented guy, Josh Kreuzman. He's based out in Bloomington, Indiana. And he kind of just like exploded onto the scene back in 2020. His music is this wild blend of like a million genres: goth rock, industrial, even a little bit of Italo disco and darkwave.
Whoa, that's a lot to pack into one sound. It's interesting how Kreuzman draws inspiration from those decaying industrial spaces. Think like those abandoned factories, all that rusting metal, and then that echoing emptiness. That's the vibe he somehow weaves into his music. Like, it's not just sound; it's like a whole atmosphere.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah,
it's like he's making the soundtrack for like a ghost hunt in an abandoned power plant, and that atmosphere is definitely there in Time Traveler. I mean, the song starts off with this. How do they describe it? Eerily rich synth, which honestly, that's perfect. But what exactly makes it so eerie? What did you pick up on?
Well, to me, it's like he took those classic 80s synth sounds, all moody and atmospheric, but then he kind of added this layer of grit to them, almost like he ran them through a distortion pedal or something, gave them this metallic edge. So they're nostalgic, but also unsettling, which fits the whole Time Traveler thing.
Oh, totally. And it's not just the synth, right? There's those driving drums and the bass line that just pulses through the whole track. It all builds this sense of urgency, like you're running through time, trying to outrun your past or something.
Yeah, exactly. And that sense of urgency is also in the lyrics. This song is all about noticing those patterns in your life, those moments where you feel like you're making the same mistakes again and again. I mean, haven't we all been there? That whole here we go again feeling.
Ugh, yeah. Tell me about it. Just last week, I left my keys in the fridge.
Yeah.
Again, it's like I'm a time traveler, repeating the same dumb mistakes. But what I really like about Time Traveler is that it takes this topic, the feeling of being stuck, which could be kind of heavy, and sets it to this energetic, upbeat tempo. It's cathartic,
Yeah, it really is. It's like the music is saying, okay, maybe life is a loop of bad decisions, but we're going to dance through it anyway. There's this real pop punk energy to it, especially the rhythm section that keeps it from, getting too bogged down in all the darkness.
Totally. And speaking of darkness, the lyrics are where things get really interesting. I read that Kreuzman is really focused on like introspection and the whole cyclical nature of life, which that might sound a little heavy, but he makes it feel relatable, even universal, like he's singing about his own life. But it makes you think about the times he felt stuck in a rut.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And he doesn't shy away from the emotion of it either. There's this one line that really stuck with me. Caught in a loop, I'm a time traveler, destined to repeat the past. It's so simple, but it just gets that feeling of being trapped by your own choices,
Completely. Okay, so we've talked about the vibe, the music, the lyrics. But what about Kreuzman's vocals? What do you think? To me, they're this perfect mix of like raw emotion and control. He's not just singing the words, he's living them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree. You can hear the sincerity, the vulnerability in his voice, like he's inviting you into his own struggles, which just makes it even more powerful. And then you've got those guest vocals from James Clark of Homunculus Algorithm that just adds a whole other layer to it.
Oh yeah, I was going to mention that. Their voices together, especially in the chorus, create this haunting harmony. It's beautiful and kind of eerie at the same time. We've been talking a lot about the song, but I think it's time to actually hear a little bit of it. You ready?
Let's hear it. I'm curious to see what stands out to you now that we've, broken it all down.
All right, here's a little snippet of Time Traveler by Twice Dark.
Like a life determined to fail. Is it fate? Is it free will? Like a dream, it's hard to tell.
Oh, man, that snippet just gave me chills. The way Kreuzman mixes those dark industrial sounds with such an energetic tempo, it's genius. It's like he's giving a voice to those times when you're really struggling.
Yeah.
But you still find a way to keep going, you know?
Yeah, for sure. You can practically feel the struggle and the resilience in every note. And speaking of resilience, there's this one line in the song that I keep thinking about. I'm breaking free from these chains, rewriting my destiny. It's almost like a mantra, you know, a reminder that we're not powerless against those repeating patterns.
Yeah. That's interesting you say that, because to me the whole song kind of functions that way. Like,
Yeah.
it's like a sonic affirmation. It acknowledges the struggle, but it also says, hey, change is possible. And the fact that it's set to this driving, danceable beat, it makes it feel empowering instead of, you know, depressing.
Totally. It's like he's saying, yeah, we all screw up sometimes, but let's not dwell on it. Let's use that energy to create something better. And that kind of brings me back to Kreuzman's background as a visual artist. It's like he's not just making music, he's creating this whole visual experience.
Yeah, for sure. Remember we were talking about his thing for those decaying industrial spaces. It's like he's taking those abandoned structures, those symbols of decay and being obsolete, and he's transforming them into something beautiful and new, just like he's suggesting we can transform our own, you know, negative patterns.
Whoa, I never thought about it like that. But that makes total sense. It's like he's finding beauty in unexpected places.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what the whole song is about, right? Finding strength and beauty in our own struggles.
Yeah, exactly. It's about recognizing that even in those dark times, there's still potential for growth and change. And the way he uses music to say all this, mixing those haunting melodies with those driving rhythms, it's brilliant.
It really is. You know, we've been talking a lot about the lyrics and the music, but I think it's important to talk about how much the vocals add to the song. Kreuzman's voice is so expressive. You can hear the vulnerability, the sincerity in every word.
Yeah, it's not just about, you know, hitting the right notes. It's about conveying the raw emotion behind the words, and he does that amazingly. And then you have James Clark's vocals that come in, and it just adds this whole other dimension to it. It's like they're having this dialogue, this conversation between two different perspectives on the same struggle.
I love that. It's like this sonic representation of that internal battle we all have when we're trying to break free from those negative cycles. It's like the voice of doubt and the voice of hope, you know?
Yeah.
All in one song.
Yeah, you said it perfectly. And I think that's what makes Time Traveler such a powerful and relatable song. It captures those universal human experiences, those times when we feel lost and trapped, but it also gives you this little bit of hope, like a little reminder that we have the power to change things.
Yeah, it's like a sonic pep talk set to a goth rock beat.
Exactly. And who doesn't need a little goth rock pep talk every now and then?
Right. You know, thinking about all this, it reminds me of this time I was stuck in this dead-end job. It was like I was just on autopilot, making the same choices every day, feeling totally unfulfilled.
Oh, yeah, I've been there. We've all been there.
Yeah, right. And for me, music was my escape. It was those dark, introspective songs, the ones that acknowledged the struggle, but also hinted that there could be something more. Those songs helped me find the courage to finally make a change.
That's the power of music, you know? It can validate how we're feeling, help us work through tough times, and even inspire us to actually do something.
Totally. And I think that's what Twice Dark does so well in Time Traveler. They created a song that not only shows our own struggles, but also encourages us to break free from those cycles, to rewrite our own destinies.
I like that. Very well said. And I think that's a perfect way to lead into our final thoughts on Time Traveler. We've gone over the lyrics, the music, the vocals, but in the end, it's up to each listener to find their own meaning in the song.
Absolutely. So before we wrap up, we want you to think about how Time Traveler connects to your own life. What are those repeating patterns you're trying to break free from? What are those moments in your past that you wish you could go back and change?
Yeah, take a minute and think about those questions. And we encourage you to listen to the full song. You can find a link in the episode description.
Yeah, and be sure to let us know what you think. We love hearing your thoughts and interpretations.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking those questions, and keep thinking about those time-traveling dilemmas.
You know, it's kind of crazy how one song can make you think so much. Time Travelers really got me thinking about all the ways we experience time, both individually and as like a society, you know?
Yeah, what's really cool to me is how Twice Dark kind of captures both sides of time in the song. Like the linear side, Andy, the cyclical side. On one hand, you have that driving beat, that feeling of moving forward, which is like a reflection of how our lives progress, right? But then you have the lyrics, the themes of repeating the same things and making the same mistakes, which speaks to the cyclical nature of our experiences.
It's like those two sides of time are always kind of fighting with each other, pushing and pulling. We're all moving forward, but we're also constantly looking back, both in our memories and in the things we do.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes the song so relatable. We've all had those moments where we feel stuck, like we're in a rut, repeating the same mistakes, even when we know better. It's like we're in this time loop and we can't break free.
Yeah, and that's where that whole time traveler idea comes in, right? It's not about like actually traveling through time. It's more about that feeling of being haunted by your past, of carrying those past experiences with you everywhere you go.
Exactly. And I think that's something everyone experiences, no matter who you are or what you believe. We all have those times when we wish we could go back and change things, make different choices. But the truth is we can't. All we can do is learn from those experiences and try to move forward in a better way.
It's like that quote, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Time Traveler is kind of like a musical reminder of that. You know? It's pushing us to break free from those self-destructive loops.
Yeah, I get that. And the fact that it's set to this really energetic, almost defiant beat, it suggests that change is possible. It's like the music is saying, hey, it's tough, but we got this. We can break free and make a better future for ourselves.
It's like a message of empowerment, but like in a goth rock song.
Exactly.
And I think that's why this song really connects with people. It acknowledges the darkness, the struggle, but it also gives you this little glimmer of hope, this sense that things can get better.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting you say that about hope, because one thing I noticed about Time Traveler is that it doesn't give you any easy answers. It's not like one of those self-help books, but set to music. It just shows you the struggle, the raw emotion of feeling stuck, and then it lets the listener figure out their own way out.
It's like Kreuzman is saying, "Hey, I'm going through this too. Let's figure this out together."
Yeah, exactly. And that feeling of shared experience, that human connection, that's what makes Time Traveler so powerful and real, you know. It reminds us that we're not alone in our struggles, and that we all have the power to break free and create a better future.
Couldn't have said it better myself. I think that's a great place to wrap things up. If you haven't already, we really recommend checking out the full song. You can find a link in the episode description, and let us know what you think. What are those time traveler moments in your own life?
Yeah. Until next time, keep asking questions, keep thinking, and don't forget about those time traveling dilemmas. Who knows? Maybe by really looking at those loops, we can actually find a way to move forward.